Welcome to Haunted Escapes with Chris and Diane.
This podcast will cover our trips to haunted hotels and locations.
We will go over a brief history of the location, our personal experiences, and even rate some of the ghost tours in that area.
Join us on our haunted escapes.
The inn known today as the Harry Packer Mansion was built in 1874 and is located in Jim Thorpe, PA. The house, a 2.5-story, 3-bay wide red brick dwelling, which was designed in the Italianate style, was presented to Harry as a wedding gift from his father, Asa Packer, who helped pioneer railroad construction. He started the Lehigh University and served 2 terms in the House of Representatives. Upon Asa's death, Harry Packer added a veranda and a study wing, all designed by architect Addison Hutton, who also designed the house. He is known for designing prominent residences in Philadelphia and its suburbs, plus courthouses, hospitals, and libraries, including the Ridgeway Library, now known as the Philadelphia High School for the Creative and Performing Arts, as well as the Historical Society of Pennsylvania. The Packer family had 7 children. However, only 3 remained to inherit their father's businesses. In an odd succession, Robert Packer, the oldest, died in 1883 from cirrhosis of the liver. Harry died a year later from the same ailment, and the business fell to daughter Mary Packer. However, at that time, women could not hold land or titles. She ended up signing everything over to one of Asa's partners and family friends. Disney fans will recognize the exterior of the inn as the inspiration for the Haunted Mansion in Disney World. The Harry Packer Mansion hosts a murder mystery weekends covering what some may say are the mysterious deaths of Robert and Harry Packer. It is also a great place for weekend getaways with good food, relaxing drinks in their libations lounge, and stunning views of the Pocono Mountains. Welcome back to Haunted Escapes with Chris and Diane.
Hello.
This is Season 2, Episode 1, the Harry Packer Mansion in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania.
Yes, it was certainly an experience there.
So, first impressions of the place.
Well, like everybody pretty much knows, it was the inspiration for the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. And full disclosure, I was never at Disney World, but I know about the Haunted Mansion. And when we got there, it's pretty cool. It's set up like on a hill looking over the town of Jim Thorpe, and it was really cool looking when we were driving up there, and then when we got inside, it's just very pretty, and there's all those antiques and everything. What did you think?
Yeah, it's like Diane said, it sits on top of a hill that overlooks the town of Jim Thorpe, and right next door to it is the Asa Packer Mansion, which is a museum you can go in and you can tour.
Yes, unfortunately we didn't get there on this trip, but we'll have to get there on our next trip.
Yes. It's a very pretty building. It definitely looks like a haunted house. When you think of a haunted house in like a movie, it looks like one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as Diane also said, we found out that it was actually the thing that the designers in Walt Disney World based the Haunted Mansion after. And if you've been to Disney World, I have been, and you look at it when you're coming up the hill, it definitely does look. You can see that is what the house is supposed to be. But it's a very nice, it's a very, very pretty house, and it also has next to it a carriage house, which is where we stayed on this trip, because to get a house in the main to get a room in the main building, it was totally booked and we couldn't, but we did get to stay in the carriage house.
Yes. Yeah, we stayed in carriage house room number 6, and it was, the whole carriage house has a whole like hunting theme, and it was very nice.
Yes, it was. And also, as we read in the intro, there is a lounge they have. It's Libations Lounge. They have it. It's only the weekends, and it's from 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 9 p.m. And that's the only time, if you're not staying at the inn, that you're actually allowed to go into the building, and you can see the downstairs. You're not allowed up onto the second floor unless you're a guest.
Yes.
But you can see the veranda. You're allowed to go sit out on the veranda and have drinks, and the hostesses are fantastic. It's a mother and a daughter, and they were great. They serve you right on time with everything. They're very attentive.
And they gave us some great stories.
Yes, they've been there for a few years, and they have a lot of really good ghost stories that they told us, which we're going to relay some of them to you in today's episode. I had a full interview with both of them that I had recorded on my phone. However, something happened, and my phone wound up getting damaged, and I lost.
Yes, the files were corrupted, which is a real shame because we spent over an hour talking to them and getting all of their stories, and we really apologize for that. If they're listening, we apologize for the files getting corrupted. But we are going to relay your stories. Hopefully, we got most of them down.
Yes, I think that we have most of them, and if we didn't, gives people more the incentive to go to the beautiful inn and talk to these two ladies, and they will gladly tell you tales about things that they've seen. But I do think we got quite a few of their stories that we remembered, because Diane was taking notes.
Yes, and we thoroughly enjoyed that veranda. We had breakfast there every morning.
Oh yeah, and then we had drinks there.
And the breeze was nice.
The veranda's
amazing. The views are beautiful.
Yeah, the veranda's amazing. It was probably my favorite part of the entire trip, was us sitting out on that veranda in the morning, having our breakfast, and then when we went to the lounge in the evening and had a few drinks. The place, it was really, really nice. I would highly, highly recommend going there.
Yes, if you're going to Jim Thorpe, we definitely recommend the Harry Packer Mansion.
Yes, and they have a mystery night that you might be able to get in to see. We were not able to get to see it, so it just gives us more incentive to go back.
Yes, it's they do murder mystery weekends a few times out of the year, and they usually book up quick, so if you're interested in going to any of those, you should go onto their website and book a date as soon as you can, because they do fill up quick.
Yes.
And I hear that they are a lot of fun.
Yes, after talking to the two ladies, and they explain the way they do it, where you're essentially, it's as if you're part of the story. It's kind of like if anybody has been to the Renaissance fairs. It's that type of thing where the people will be dressed up and they'll interact with you, and you can go around and talk to them and try to solve the mystery. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into some of the ghost stories.
Where do you want to start?
I guess we'll start with the first ghost story that we wrote down here.
Okay, so the first ghost story about the ghost cat.
Yes. So there is, they say that there's a ghost cat that people who work there and even visitors have seen. They said it's a gray cat, and they've seen it lounging around on the veranda and even walking around inside the house. And it said that you can hear the cat outside, which I think that I did, because we were sitting there waiting for our drinks the one night, and I happened to hear a meow, and I was looking around, and I even said to Diane, I was like, is there a cat somewhere? And we were looking around, and I didn't see one. And now I didn't know about this ghost cat when I heard this. When they came out with our drinks and we were talking to them later that night, that's when they told us that there is this ghost cat that has been seen numerous times.
Yeah, we were sitting out there about to have our drinks, and he goes, I just heard a meow. And I'm like, I didn't hear no meow. I don't know what you're talking about. And I thought, I don't know, maybe he's hearing things. But yeah, apparently there's this ghost cat that darts around the mansion, hops up on the chairs, and has been seen by a lot of the staff.
Yeah, lounges on the verandas, which is pretty cool. So I do think that I heard that, so that was pretty cool. And then they also have a story about, they believe, Harry Packer, who is the main spirit, or one of the main spirits in the house. They've heard him and seen him walking down the grand hallway on the first floor when you first come in through the doors. They've seen him walking through there, and they've also seen him on the stairs.
Yes.
Going up to the second floor, there's a landing, and they've seen him on the landing, as well as the one girl we spoke to Rachel, she was on the landing one day when they were working, and she happened to look up, and she believes she saw Harry
He's
looking over the banister down at her.
Yeah, they said they feel like he's there watching.
Which makes sense. It's his house, and he wants to make sure that it's being taken care of.
I get that. I mean, it was a wedding gift from his father, so it was something that meant a lot to him.
Listen, sadly, he didn't really have a long life there. He got sickly shortly after it was gifted to him, and then he wound up passing away. And then there's also a spirit of they believe there's a woman all in a black, like a Victorian black outfit. And Rachel said that she had just started, her story goes that she had just started the day with her mom, and she was walking in from the back door, and she saw what looked like a woman
sitting on the couch,
dressed in black, sitting on the couch in the ladies' parlor. Well, she thought it was her mom because their uniforms they wear are a black uniform. And she hollered to her mom, "Are you working hard or are you hardly working?" Well, as she said this, her mom answered her, but not from the direction of the woman sitting.
Yeah.
But from the other side of the hallway. Her mom comes out of the kitchen where she was setting up for breakfast, and she goes, "What are you talking about? What did you say? I didn't hear you." And then as Rachel looks over at her mom, she looks back into the parlor, and the figure is gone.
Yeah, there's also another story where she saw the lady in black dart down the stairs, and she thought it was her mom too.
Yeah, her and her mom were up on, I think she said, the landing of the second floor.
Yeah.
Going up to the third, and they were cleaning a room, and she was in the middle of talking to her mom, and all of a sudden she saw, out of the corner of her eye, someone in black again come running down the stairs. She thought it was her mom because she thought that maybe she had heard the doorbell or something, and Rachel hadn't heard it.
Yeah, I think she was
talking.
asking her a question.
Yeah, and then here her mom comes walking out, and she's in one of the bedrooms, and she's like, "What? What are you talking about? I'm right here." So that was a cool story that they told us. And then they had a story about how there's a man on the third floor. Diane went here, so she'll tell you this story because I really wasn't at there.
Yeah, so me and I believe her name was Madeline.
Yes.
We went up to the third floor because she was nice enough to show me some of the rooms on the third floor. And we walked into this one room, and she said that she feels like there's kind of a negative energy that's all in black, and that she never feels comfortable enough to leave her back to the doorways on the third floor. And I went up there with her, and it did feel kind of weird. And there was also another room where she said feels very feminine, and we went in there, and it did feel very feminine. There was a feminine presence, even I don't know, it was a light, just a light feeling, if that's the way I can describe it.
Yeah, and then another story they told us was that when you're going from their lounge and you come walking out of the room to head out to the veranda, there's a little desk type thing that has ice and things like that for the guests that are sitting on it. And they were down there one day, and the entire platter that the stuff was sitting on got thrown across the room and landed in it got tossed and landed in the adjacent room.
Yeah, and they're saying that the way that the ice bucket landed, it had to go around the wall to land in the ladies' parlor.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And then where we stayed, we were in the carriage house, and the girl Rachel had said how she did not like going into carriage house. She said she always felt like a bad, negative presence in there. And she told us this one story where she was in one of the rooms, and she was cleaning. She actually said it was the room we were in. And as she was cleaning it up, she happened to hear what sounded like somebody walking, and she looked over and she saw the floor depressed, as if somebody was stepping on it.
And also the window.
Yes, and the window latch would will get unlatched and opened, and they think that it's from the ghost that would do it. I tried setting that up, but they didn't. They didn't feel like messing with our window that day. But and then she also says that in the carriage house that people have told them that they hear what sounds like a young girl running through the hallways. Now, at the inn...
And also a little boy in the carriage house hallway.
Yes. Now, in the inn, children are not allowed. It's mainly it's adults. You go in there as a couple. It's a very romantic type atmosphere, and there are no kids ever in the inn. Yet people hear what sounds like kids running in the hallway, and we were actually going out on our first day there, and on our way down the stairs we heard what sounded like
a baby crying.
Yeah, a baby crying, and there are obviously no children there, so it was weird. It was one of those things where it makes you think, what did we actually hear? And we both heard it, clear as day, going down the stairs.
Yeah, it was out of the blue. We were walking down the steps, and I heard a baby cry. I'm like, tell me you heard that baby crying.
Yes, and again, at the time when I heard it, I didn't know that children weren't allowed in the inn, so I thought that it might have been because the room across from us, they had just let guests in there, like, right before we left to go into the town. So I thought maybe the guests had their baby with them, and that's what we heard.
Yeah.
And then later on, when we were at the lounge, that's when they told us no, that there were no children in the inn. So that was pretty creepy. And then back to this woman in black. Now, Diane, tell them what you saw.
So we were sitting on the veranda having some drinks, and it was only for a split second, but I saw what looked to be a woman. Her face was black, but I could tell, like, in the back of her head, there was a bump, like maybe a bun or something like that. And I could tell she had a dress on. It was white or like cream colored. It had the high neckline. It was cinched in the middle. And it was just for a split second, but she was sitting at one of the tables, just looked like she was just looking out at the mountains.
Yeah, and there was nobody on the veranda at that time. It was
No.
just me and Diane.
Because it was getting late and they were closing down and everything.
Yeah, they were going to be closing. And then,
I got goosebumps now.
And then Diane also saw our first day there. We had gone down to a restaurant at the bottom of the hill called Molly McGuire's.
Yes.
And we ate and we had a drink. And on the way back up, tell them what you saw.
Okay, so we were on our way back up the hill, and again, it was only for a split second. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a figure, and it either looked like a man or felt like a man, and it was standing by the right in front of the inn, and it was just for a split second, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye. It was all in black, and I was like, and I said to Chris, I'm like, I keep seeing things. And he's like, well, what are you seeing? And then we drive up the hill and we're going into the carriage house. And on the roof of the carriage house, I don't know if it was the same figure, but it looked like it was all in black. And it was like on the roof, and it was looking down at us.
Yes, now, what she means by the roof, it wasn't like on the roof. There was like a thing you could like stand up on, and that you would be able to like look out and see the area, and that's where she saw the thing standing and looking down at her.
Kind of like, what do they call widow's walks?
Kind of. So that was some crazy stuff, because usually, as you've heard from a lot of our podcasts,
I don't see anything.
Yes, if you've listened, or if you haven't, you're new. I'm the one who usually experiences all these strange things. But this time, it was Diane who experienced it all.
And yes, and let me just say that as soon as we got to our room, he goes, if there's any ghosts or spirits, you go ahead and show yourself to my wife. He's like, you can leave me alone for the weekend. So, I don't know, whatever power you got, you gave it to me that weekend, because I was seeing everything.
Yeah, I walked in and I was like, any ghosts or ghoulies who are here? I said, I know you usually like messing with me. I said, but however, it's my wife's birthday weekend, and she would really like to experience some scary stuff.
Yes, it was
So
my
this
birthday.
year you can leave me alone, and you can just go and mess with her for our stay. And then, yeah, she said that all kinds of weird stuff happened to her. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to do that more often when we go places, and I can be the one who sleeps through everything for once.
So, what did you think of the food? It was a bed and breakfast.
Oh, the food was excellent. It was very good. It's all included with it when you book your stay, and you can eat it anywhere in the house or on the veranda, and it was just so nice. We just sat on that veranda. That veranda was amazing. That was like my favorite. Like I said, that was my favorite part of, I think, the whole trip.
Yes, he's still talking about it.
It was just so relaxing, and that's another thing. Like, you don't get, at least I didn't get, any scary vibes from the house. To me, it was very relaxing, and it was a great stay. Like I said, the food was excellent. The two women, Rachel and her mom Madeline, they were
super nice.
Yeah, they were super nice. They told us the stories that we asked, and they were really nice. So if you are ever in the area, I would highly, highly recommend looking into staying at the Harry Packer Mansion Bed and Breakfast in Jim Thorpe. And it's just a really nice place. It's a good time. The lady's doing a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely, it's 5 stars, hands down.
Yeah, I think the breakfast had something for everybody. A lot of really good quiche that Chris tried for the first time.
Yeah, I never eaten it before, and we got there and I had it. Now I know I like it. So
I didn't feel anything weird like in our room, but the hallway did have kind of like a weird feeling, and I would say that the main house, the mansion, especially on the upper floors, did have weird feelings about it.
Yeah, next time we go, we would like to try to get in there to stay inside the actual main house, because there's a couple rooms there that are just really, like, we went and saw Harry's suite, and it's the room that he died in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kept like the exact same way it would have been when he died, and it's got the original coffin tub in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. That was just, we're going to be going back in October.
Yes, Jim Thorpe puts on a whole huge fall festival where we could do a ghost tour, because we couldn't do a ghost tour this time because they did not have one. But during the fall festival, apparently the town does one and the old jail does one.
Yes, we did go to the old jail, and that place was pretty cool. Now, if you watch Ghost Hunters, and even maybe Ghost Adventures might have gone there too, they've gone to the old jail, and there's a whole thing about the Molly Maguires and the spirits that haunt the old jail. We're not getting into that in this episode. We're going to save that for the one when we go back. This episode, we just wanted to really focus on the mansion, the Harry Packer Mansion.
Yes.
But it's definitely worth a stay. And they even had this one story where the actors for their murder mystery weekend, one of the actors they were eating, and they saw this black shadow, this woman in black, who had walked and was going into the kitchen. And the actor followed her, and the actor thought it was the girl Rachel, and he was like, "Oh, hey, I come bringing, bearing tidings," and he had his dishes. But when he walked in where he just saw this figure walk into, he turned the corner, there was nobody in the kitchen. And no sooner did he walk in there, Rachel came in behind him because she had heard him talking, and she was like, "Oh, hey, you looking for me?" And he turned around and he got a little bit freaked out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really, really cool.
And if you're a guest there, you can go on to a self-guided tour of the whole house. They have little laminated sheets that go into more details about the rooms and the different areas of the house.
Yes. Now, they don't really go into the whole ghost thing. Like, they don't do ghost hunting or any of that. However, if you go there, you can talk to Rachel and Madeline, and they'll gladly share all their tales of creepy things that have happened to them. I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting right now, but like I said, after I lost that interview, we could only have what we like remembered and from the notes that we took. So I'm sure there are certain things that are left out. So in order to find out more about the spooky going ons, I guess you'll just have to go check out the mansion and talk to them and find out about it on your own.
Yes, and again, we would highly recommend it. We had such an enjoyable stay there.
Absolutely, and when we go back in October. Sadly, we could not get a room there because it was packed and it was totally booked out. However, we are going to be stopping there for their libations lounge, and we're gonna see if we can't hear anything new that may happen to them from now until October.
Yep.
So stay tuned, and when we have the whole one about all the haunted areas around Jim Thorpe and the old jail, we might have some more stories to share about the Harry Packer mansion.
And I have a few EVPs that I did. I don't think I heard anything, but I'll post them, see if anybody else hears something.
Yeah, she usually does that next Friday when she does the YouTube version with all the photos that we have that we took while there, and you'll see just how pretty the place is.
Yes.
So that's everything for today's episode of Haunted Escapes with Chris and Diane. Again, season 2.
Yes, we're happy to be back.
Yeah, season 2, episode 1. I hope everybody who listens, I want to thank you for listening, and hopefully you keep tuning in as we keep coming out with more content for the the channel and for the station. So thank you for everybody who has listened, and who if you're new to us, we do have the other whole season. I think it's 10 episodes.
Yes, 10 episodes.
You can go back and you can listen to them, and yeah, so thank you again for joining us on our Haunted Escapes.
Yes, thank you everybody. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, this is Diane. This is just a quick reminder that if you have any spooky stories to tell us, you can send it to penepicproductions@gmail.com. We are always wanting to hear your stories, and also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We are everywhere you listen to podcasts. All right, thank you.